What is up, my ninjas? Shinobi here with another Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls video for you guys. Before we get into the video, I want to give you guys a little bit of a announcement real quick for those of you that are curious and everything like that. I have been mentioning on stream and everything that my birthday is coming up tomorrow, so it'll be like later tonight, about 10 hours from now, just about. And I thought what I would do is I'm about to get on and go stream right now, so we're gonna do like a 2-day celebration thing, birthday stream, you know, just have some fun. I'm gonna play with you guys and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to come by after you're done watching this video, links down in the description below. And my actual birthday is later on tonight, so tomorrow, and we'll be doing another stream for that too. I don't know how much I'll be able to stream tomorrow because obviously I have real life stuff to do for birthday, but at the same time I'm gonna be you know, trying to be there as much as possible because, you know, you guys are a big part of my life, so celebrating my birthday with you guys only feels right. So if you guys do want to come by for that stuff, link in the description like I said, and I'll see you guys over there. Should be definitely a good time, get to play with you guys and all that kind of stuff, so should be pretty awesome. But what is this video about? Well, by you reading the title, you probably figured it out by now. And the biggest question that I've had since 2.1 has gone into the PTR is, Shinobi, what class are you going to play in 2.1? Like, are you going to do seasonal? If you are, what class are you going to play? And also, whatever class you are playing, can you please tell us your spec, your build, the thing that you're doing to do well on the leaderboards and hopefully do really well in the seasonal that will be coming up hopefully soon when 2.1 comes up and goes live. But there has been a lot of problems with seasonal. As you can notice right here, I actually got up to tier 38 with this exact build and spec and gear and everything that I'm about to show you, and I was like ranked top 10 for the solo witch doctors. But then, as you can see, people now, because this was like where it was normal, like right around here, at like 38, this was like normal right here. This is where everybody was. And then people started using other stuff that obviously needs to be fixed, and it just started going up and up and up to like 100, and now people are using this stuff. And you can see, you know, if you go to like any person that you look at to see if this is legitimate or not, I mean, you could obviously just like look and, you know, like they're in weird gear with like Blackthorn's chest piece and this helmet and, you know, things like that. Like, they're obviously, it's not obviously legitimate. There are some things that people are doing. Some of the gems are a little overpowered and things like that, especially like that one video that I showed you guys where the gems are still really strong. They haven't really made a lot of changes to the gems just yet, so hopefully they'll do that soon. But this is PTR. It's all about testing, and testing is what I've been doing. So I want to go ahead and show you guys the spec build that I've been using to get up to the point that I've been able to get up to. Now it is pretty gear intensive, but also one thing that I've really noticed coming into the PTR before, you know, before we just had Torment 6. And one thing I noticed with the Witch Starters, you guys know I did the 2-week Gear Up Challenge, and in that 2 weeks I decided to go from absolutely no gear to Torment 6 farmable. So I was able to do that in 2 weeks, which is about 80-90 hours playtime. But I thought that I had a pretty optimal build. When I brought that in to PTR, that same build, the same everything, right? And I went into the PTR and you started getting up to these higher tiers, which is much more difficult than Torment 6, you really notice some flaws in your specs, in your builds, and things like that. So I've had to adjust and come up with some different, creative, interesting things to do. It is a pet witch doctor. I like to call this the jungle witch doctor, and you'll see why in just a minute. And, you know, you can only really make so many changes to the pet witch doctor. However, I'm going to tell you what I'm currently doing and what I want to get and my full direction that I eventually want to go, but this is an option for you. So, getting into the gear right now, let's take a look at the gear first, then we'll look at the spec itself. So we have the 3-piece Augilds here. Arena Royal Grandeur is not as good anymore, especially for the Pet Witch Doctor, where the 2 rings that you use are very, very important. For instance, the Unity and the Tall Man's Finger. Very important. So that's why you can't use Ring of Royal Grandeur, because you don't have that extra slot to put another ring in there. Those rings are very important, and I'll get more into those in just a minute. So we do have the 3-piece Guilds here. Okay. And you can see that I have with the poison. You're like, poison? That's weird. I'll get into why in just a little bit. I have the Mask of Jerem that I've had for a while now. 99% pet damage. Very nice when you're starting a Witch Doctor. The first item you look for, pretty much, because it's going to give you a big boost. The amulet I'm using, Poison Amulet here, with intelligence, crit chance, and crit damage, and has life after kill, which is kind of nice. And then the secondary there, the special property, after earning a massacre bonus, 6 skeletons are summoned to your fight by your side for 10 seconds. When the beta was out, this was actually a lot more powerful than it is right now, and they nerfed it, because I did some very interesting stuff with that. However, the skeletons are pretty good. They hit for a decent amount, and it kind of looks like you got, like, you know, a bunch of pets, you know, everywhere. This is why I call it the jungle witch doctor, because you have these skeletons, you have your dog, you have your, you know, your fetishes, you have your toads that you shoot like crazy. It just looks like a, doesn't look like a zoo, it looks like a jungle. There's just like so many animals everywhere, and they're actually like all green except for the skeletons. So, yeah, that's why we come up with the name for that. And then so you can see, like, so it's not bad. There are some amulets out there that are a little bit better, some other options that you can go with. However, this amulet, I like it. It's good. It's been working for me. I mean, getting the, I did pick up this earlier today, but it's not that good. The prevent cold damage one, which is really nice. And you have the arcane, you have the other ones, and those are nice. I mean, I have this one right here, which is my cold one for my Jade build, so it's another amulet that I have. I have quite a few other amulets in my stash and everything like that. I think I have this one right here. That's a cold one. I think I had like a fire one around here somewhere. Yeah, I have like a fire one too. It's somewhere around here. I don't know where I put it. That's weird. Anyway, so yeah, I like a fire one, and we're going to talk a little bit more about fire later on in the video here. But for now, these are the items so far. We have the Tasker and Theo gloves. The trifecta, intelligence, decent attack speed on there, pretty good for the pet attack speed. Then I am using the Blackthorn's belt and Blackthorn's boots. Now this is something that's going to be changed, however it's good for now. I don't have Witching Hour, which is something that you want to have instead of the Blackthorn's belt. Witching Hour is very strong, attack speed and crit damage, very good for the pet build. Going to give you a really good burst of damage, and it's actually much stronger than increased damage to elites by 10% for multiple reasons. And the reason why, one of the reasons why for that is because you don't fight elites all the time. You fight trash mobs more than you fight elites. Trash mobs will, in the end, on the higher tiers, give you more progression than elite packs will. I've done multiple tests on this. We were doing tier 35, I believe, in a group, and we only killed trash mobs, no elites, and we cleared the entire rift with plenty of time to spare. So, no elite packs killed. So that shows that elite damage is not quite as good as it used to be, because you'd rather have elemental or just like sheet damage and things like that, effective DPS, over something like elite damage. But it's okay for now because, yeah, you do need to get those through those elite packs. I'm not saying skip the champ pack, skip the elite packs and only do champ packs. You know, you're gonna have if you can burn through an elite pack really quickly, I mean, that's going to be faster for you, obviously, but so I will be switching out this for Witching Hour. I'll probably switch out the boots for Ice Climbers, which I do have those already, but for now, this is what I'm doing. Then you can see with the pants, I'm using the Swamp Land Waters, which gives you poison damage, which is great. It's very rare to get like elemental damage in areas that aren't, you know, like amulet or bracers or weapon or something like that, right? So you have the Swamp Land right there, which is good because you get that poison damage. You know, you also have things like the Cinderco, which is your fire damage on the chest piece. You know, so having those kinds of options is good. Now I do have these right here, and you may think, why, you crazy ninja, are you not using these hexing pants? they're good. They're actually really good. And the thing is, though, is that with my build here, because I'm using the Renho Flare, right? I'm using the toads, the Adling toads. So it becomes quite difficult to make sure, because if you stop moving with the Hexing Pants, you lose damage. And because Blizzard recently put the pets back to the way they were, they buffed the pets a little bit, and they die more often now. What they ended up doing is nerfing them back down to the point that your pets die a lot. And that's why I'm using the spec the way that I am, so I'll get into that. Your pets die a lot, so you need to get them back up quickly, and Renho Flare does that for you, which is good. And so would something like a Star Metal, but I don't have that. If you have Star Metal, go with the Hexing Pants instead of the Swampland. If you don't, Renho Flare combo here, it's actually good to go with this, because it's going to give you some extra added damage. The Depth Diggers were really good, and I would have used them instead of these in this position, but they nerfed it for Witch Doctors, and now it doesn't work for Witch Doctors anymore. So that sucks. Kind of a little nerf for us there, but yeah. So that's why I'm using that. You still haven't heard the answer on the poison thing yet, and I'll get into that. Finally, we have Serpent here, and it's a pretty decent one. You know, you get that 29% damage redirected to your zombie dogs. Not bad. Yeah, so not bad at all, not bad. And then you have, and also have the summon zombie dogs damaged by 11%, which is pretty good. I don't know if that actually converts over to the Tall Man's Finger Big Dog. I'm sure it does, because it's summon dogs. It should. I should test that, but I think it does. Then I found this Renho Flare, which is like just so good, man. Look at that damage on there, 1453 up on the top end, getting 10% damage there, and then also decent intelligence with the socket that it came with. Like, very good. One of the best flares I've seen ever in the game. Very, very good, and really helps out for a lot of reasons. I have the Unity here. I'm trying to roll crit damage better there. I had the perfect elite damage, perfect crit chance. Intelligence is looking really good. It has life after kill, which is pretty decent. And then crit damage, trying to get that up more. As you can see on my Templar, he has the Unity that was from my Barb. So I do have the double Unity combo, which helps out and is very, very, very much needed for the higher tiers. Something that I think that possibly Blizzard needs to change, because a lot of players don't have the double Unity combo, and if that's needed to get to the top 10, top 20 on these ladders, that's an unfair advantage. You know, you have this one item, which means that you are going to do better than me, right? And it's true. I've tested, I've done a lot of climbing the ladders without double Unity combo, and it's a struggle. It's very difficult. And I had all of the same gear, all of the same skills, everything like that. The only difference was a double Unity combo, and it's so amazing how much more that Unity can push you. So really try to get the Unity action going for you there. Also have the Tall Man's Finger, a disgusting Tall Man's Finger. God, I was so sad when I got this. Well, I was happy because I needed it, right? However, like, the stats are just so bad. But I did get a socket on there for the gem, 15% chance on hit to smite a nearby enemy for 1000% weapon damage, which is nice. Does nice burst damage, and because I'm using the Renho Flare, Plague of Toads now seek out enemies and can explode twice. Which means when I shoot out my toads and they explode twice, you get a double beam of the gem. So you're actually like 2000% weapon damage. It is a lot of damage. These gems are very strong. Are they going to get nerfed? This one, I think it does need to get nerfed. However, it's still really strong though, and it's usable, and everyone has been using these types of things. But so yeah, it's pretty strong for sure. So looking at the stats here, I have 49% poison damage. And then I have 40% elite damage. My crit damage is 389%. Thanks a lot, Tall Man's Finger. That's one of the reasons why it's low there. Yeah, but you know, if you had a star medal and this had crit damage on it, you'd be much higher in the crit damage. Even though I'll get to my Paragon stuff in just a minute here. So yeah, the effective DPS is pretty decent. I do have a lot of crit chance, even though I didn't even, you know, I've only put a little crit chance into the Paragon points. So speaking of that, let's get into the Paragon stuff now. So getting my movement speed up to the point so I can cap it up there, and then have the intelligence for the rest of it, 420. And then we have attack speed and crit damage, and then crit chance coming last. Cooldown reduction is definitely an option, especially if you're high Paragon level. You can go with that. Cooldown reduction does help out with the spec, especially with the way that I have it set up. Then you have here the life, the resistol, armor, and life percent. Even though I didn't put a lot into life percent, I do have 600,000 health. So that does help out a lot. You need to be tanky for sure. But yeah, armor and resistol, very important. Get both of those. Armor is more important for your Witch Doctor than resistol because you have intelligence, so you're gonna get a lot of resist anyways. So this is just icing on the cake, whereas this one is mandatory. So think about that. And then I'd say your priorities here are armor, then resist, then life percent. That's kind of the priorities for you. Then we have over here area damage. Not a lot of abilities that you use give you area damage, but it's better than Gold Find or something like that, especially on PTR where it's not going to carry over, right? So it's something to go for, and I don't need the resource cost reduction because I usually use cooldowns pretty much for all this stuff. Life on hit too is going to help you out a lot, especially with your toads that explode. Going to give you a decent amount of health back for sure. So let's take a look at the spec now. So we have Plague of Toads with Addling Toads. This is a poison ability. You confuse the monsters, which is nice, definitely for the higher tiers where things can hit like trucks, and you don't want to get hit by that stuff. So confusing them a little bit can help you out, plus giving you some pretty decent damage. And like I said, your toads explode twice, so going with that poison is good. Another option to go with would be the Explosive Toads because you get more damage out of that, but that would result in a fire spec. So you would need fire amulet, fire bracers, you know, fire, as many spots as you can get for the elemental damage. When I get a star medal and I can switch out these pants to the hexing pants, I will go the fire route. However, right now I want to utilize the poison because this is my best option for pants right now because I'm using the flare and I can't really use the you know, I have to use the toads here. So if that makes sense to you, you may be saying that's so weird that he's not using the hexing pants, but that's why. And that's why I'm going with poison. I think poison is the second best option for the Witch Doctor, the first best being fire with the star medal, the hexing pants, witching hour, blah 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 blah, right? So then we have here Summon Dog, Rabid Dogs. So Rabid Dog's not too bad. Your zombie dog gains an infectious bite that deals 30% of your weapon damage as poison over 3 seconds. So it's not a bad thing. Plus Tall Man's Finger, even with the horrible stats that you get here, it's still a very usable item because the pet is just so good by itself, even if you get shitty stats on the Tall Man's Finger like I did. So keep that in mind. Like if I use a Stone of Jordan there instead, which I have like 7 of them, right? If I use a Stone of Jordan there, I noticed I did it myself. You're doing much better. the zombie dog just makes a huge difference because it's so tanky too, right? Which allows you to be tanky with the serpent, which is really good. So compared to your other pets, there's such a huge difference. The Unity and the Tall Man's Finger, both of those together push you from getting from tier 28, 29, things like that, to 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, getting up and up and up and up. That's what is very required. Then we have here Spirit Walk with Jaunt because, in my opinion, it's the best way to go for this current build. 3-second Spirit Walk is very important. So then we have here Fetish Army with Headhunters. Now you may be thinking, Shinobi, Fetish Army with Headhunters, that's kind of weird. You don't really see that very often, right? However, hear me out here. A lot of people, they like to go with Gargantuan. And that's another reason why you go with Fire eventually with Wrathful Protector. That's going to be the best way to do it. However, pets die a lot, And if you're on a Rift Guardian or you're on an Elite Pack and your fetishes die right before the Elite Pack, and it's only one guy, right? So it's really difficult to summon a lot of fetishes, even with using the Ren Flare and the Plague of Toads. A single target is difficult to get those fetishes up, so you need to have a backup plan, and that's what this is, the Fetish Army. Plus, because you have Graven Justice, you're going to get this cooldown back very quickly. So yeah, think about that. Very, very important. And Headhunters is good too because I am poisoned, so why not? And it gives you 2 fetishes that sit at range, which makes sure they don't die. They sit by you, they don't run in there and get killed by arcanes and all crazy stuff that pets die to all the time, nowadays anyway. And then now you have these guys that sit back and they shoot a bunch of damage and stuff. Makes a big difference, it really does. Now we have Big Bad Voodoo with Slam Dance, which will get even better with the Star Medal. That's why Star Medal, guys, is just the best Witch Doctor weapon in the game. And like, there's so many, like all these explanations that I've been giving you. Like, notice how I say if I had Star Medal, right? That's why that weapon is so good. Second best weapon is the one that I'm using right now. Then you also have some runner-ups, which would be a Sunkeeper, which also would be Doombringer, Devastator, maybe, and Thunder Fury, things like that. Yeah, that's getting down and down the list there, but that's some options for you guys. Then we have Piranhas with Piranonado. So look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4 poison abilities. So it does actually work out pretty well, right? And Piranonado, it's not really known for its damage, but Piranonado is very good. I've been testing out the difference between Piranonado and Wave of Mutilation. Wave of Mutilation is pretty good. It does decent damage. I like that. And I also get it back a lot faster than you do with the Piranonado. But Piranonado on the higher tiers, in my opinion, is the best way to go, because you can actually grab certain packs and hold them still, and getting that couple seconds of pure DPS that you can throw in there makes a huge difference, trust me, especially if your pets are dying all the time, right? Or if you're waiting for some cooldowns to come down. It can even save you. It can set you up for a good position to kill something. It's very, very strong. So yeah. Then we have Fetish Sycophants, which is obviously, you know, you're using that to spawn a lot of fetishes. Pierce the Veil, because you don't really use a lot of mana, so it's just a 20% damage increase. Nothing wrong with that. Graven Justice, as I talked about earlier, getting that life back, getting that the cooldowns reduced and everything like that. Then we have Midnight Feast. Midnight Feast is very strong. I would not suggest Midnight Feast if you don't have the Tall Man's Finger, because right here you can see I'm not using Gargantuan, but I do use this for the zombie dog to be stronger, do a lot of damage. So definitely really good, and this will only get better when you use Gargantuan too. So getting to that fire build, that's why it's the most optimal build, but this is definitely, I've been able to do really well with this build, so obviously it's good. But you know, you're going to want to eventually step up to that ultimate fire build, which I will make a video about that. Hopefully I'll get all the stuff for that and be able to do that for you. So this has been a long video, guys, but I went in depth on all this stuff. A lot of people ask me, man, these videos, they could be 6-7 minutes long, and they turn out being 19-20 minutes long, things like that. It's because I analyze games. I'm a game analyzer. I go into it, I explain to you exactly how I found this out, you know, what kind of results you can expect to get out of it. You know, I talked about in this video the spec, the gear that I'm using, what you want to shoot for, so you're not just getting a simple explanation of, oh, this is the spec I use, this is the build I use, go use it. Just trust me, it works. I actually explain to you why it works, and I explain to you guys, you know, what you can expect out of this and what to do in certain situations. You know, like I told you, some of the items are really good for the higher tiers, and Piranonado is really good for the higher tiers over Wave of Mutilation, things like that. So I do appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll see you guys over at the live stream for the 2-day celebration of my birthday. I am Deaning 28. If you get that reference, then you're awesome. Anyways, guys, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. Lots of Diablo 3 coming out for you guys, which is great. Got 2.1 just around the corner. Hopefully, you know, I'll be getting into the seasonal stuff for that and getting high up in the leaderboards, making guides for you. And I'll be experimenting with other classes too, but my first class I'm going to be pushing it with will be the Witch Doctor. And now you get to see a first-hand look on what I've been doing to kind of look at some advantages and disadvantages and things like that out there that are gonna, you know, hopefully help out a lot when it comes to the leaderboards. Anyways, guys, hoping that 2.1 comes out soon. Thank you for watching the video. Once again, like, subscribe, comment, like I said before. My name is Shinobi, and until next time, or until you come over to the live stream, thanks for watching.